Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Rabbit Hole on Tuesday nights, November 15th, 2022. I'd like to thank everybody who's joining the show. And for those of you who are about to join the show, I'd like to introduce the boys, Mr. D, Mr. Donald, and Mr. Jim. And of course, yours truly, Mr. Blaze Man over here. We got a lot of shit to go over tonight, and but we're gonna start off, and we're gonna give my boy Jim the floor, and he's gonna open us up, and we're gonna take it from there. Go ahead, pal.
All right. Yeah, we definitely have a lot to talk about. But I want to open up by talking about um, the really important thing that happened last week, the midterm elections, and like how we are where we are. I couldn't have woke up on Wednesday morning any more shocked than I was. I mean, we had every single media outlet you could think of, whether it was underground media source. It could have been mainstream media's right, left. Every single one of them were all saying it was going to be this giant red wave, and it was going to be like a bloodbath. Turns out it was more like a ripple from a drop of water in a cup. It was the exact opposite. So just with that, I don't want to get too much into it because there's a couple of different things that we can go down rabbit holes with on that one. Obviously, there's a whole group of people that I can't technically get behind with the idea that these elections were stolen. And then it's either one or the other. It was either that or this many people really voted, and this is where we are. Those questions can also run down some rabbit holes. But
Well, let's not forget the dead guy that was voted in too, man.
yeah, oh no, there's like I said,
Okay.
there's plenty of stuff. All I want to do is I just want to point this out, right? Here's a bunch of stuff I dug up just because people were talking about these topics and stuff like that, and how did we get here? That's my big question. And even just through these midterms, all right, we're talking about a president who had the the party of the president that has a 40% average approval rating. We're in a 40-year high inflation. Oil is through the roof. Gas prices are through the roof. Natural gas is through the roof. Your electric, your food. My 401k is down 20%, right? Um, in exiting polls, they said 85%. I mean, again, you can look all of this stuff up. They're all came from news sources everywhere. This one's actually CNN. 85% of people on exit polls said they think the country is in the wrong direction. It's going in the wrong direction. Okay. A point I think Mr. D made earlier, or Donald, when we were talking, crime. We're at a record crime across the board. That's thefts. That's even just down to trespassing, minor crimes. But murder is up 30% from their numbers in 2019. Okay, that's from the New York Times. Immigration, absolute disaster. The Customs and Border Protections, okay, they keep a log. This isn't a biased thing. They keep a log. You can go and look them up. It's the CBP, Custom and Border Protections. Between apprehensions and expulsions, or I'm assuming that means deportations, in 2019, there were 977,000. In 2022, 2,378,000. Okay. That's a 143% increase. All right. My state, here's one of the things that really hit home and what shocked me on Wednesday. My state just decided it would be good to vote in allowing illegal immigrants to obtain driver's licenses. Like, you can come here, be illegal, and obtain a driver's license, which to me is, again, we can go down that rabbit hole too, but I mean, like, how can you have a driver's license that's a legal document if you're not even frigging legal yourself?
Right.
That aside, let's
what
just
else?
shelf it.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're
right.
fucking making me
But
nuts.
no. I know you're going
Right.
crazy over there, right? Here's another thing. I ride a
Yeah.
motorcycle. My kids ride bikes, right? You think I want some dude who's illegal riding around, doesn't know our laws? Which, you know what I mean? Come on, dude.
Right.
I don't even know how they can have insurance again. Because we can go through that. It drives me nuts, right? They also voted in for taxing people who make $1 million or more. And a lot of people will sit back and go, "I don't make $1 million." If you make $1 million, you have plenty of money. You don't have to worry about it. All right. Well, that's
Yeah.
if the millionaires move out, and then it's the people who make $750,000, and then those people bail out. Before you know it, we're all just getting taxed to death. On top of the fact, now this is what really, really, again, blows my mind. We are actually supposed to get money back from the state because there was a $3 billion overpayment of tax revenue. Again, look it up. So we have an overpayment of $3 billion, and you're still going to tax people more. That was my state, but we got Russia, Ukraine, and so all of these things together. This is Democrats, dude. This is their party. This is the ideas they stand behind. That doesn't, we don't even get into like education stuff. I don't even want to go through every little single thing, but how is it that we got to this point that anybody could have walked into that voting booth and voted for that, or from home, mailed in a ballot saying, knowing all of these things? So is that now, again, you got to believe one or two things. Either it was stolen or these votes were cast and counted. And again, I can't. The rabbit hole behind that is amazing and it's deep. Talking about stealing an election, because that's just that's an insanely difficult thing. I mean, to do. But so in my case, I believe that they were counted. How do you? And I think there was mail-in ballots that is what really did it. And I don't know. I want to hear again. What's your thoughts on that? And how did we get to this point? How is it possible that people could vote for this? And after we start answering that, I mean, that's where that whole Tytler cycle we want to talk about. We can kind of run through that and apply it where it belongs. But that's my question. How do we
Mhm.
get?
All right, Mr. D,
All right, man. Where do you want to start off with?
pick
This
one.
where um, since when did we change the name from FFN Network to FFN Media? I don't remember that coming up on a vote or anything.
I know you was entitled to one, bro.
Board of Governors.
Board of Governors.
Mhm. I'm in charge of equal opportunity there, Unc. No, getting back to Jim's answer, we'll talk about the media thing later on offline. And you be ready to defend your decision there, Uncle Clarence.
Yeah.
No, but getting back to you, Jim.
Shut down the fucking camera.
Uh,
Go ahead.
no, and no about the midterm elections, man. I just want to state one thing. Biden had the best midterm election for any
Yeah.
presidency. That is crazy, and he also has a disapproval rate. There was many factors um, that went into this, and the biggest one was abortion. Republicans didn't touch that. And I really believe that is why you saw them numbers is because the Republicans come up, nope, there's no talking. Man, bring up the restrictions. Talk about restrictions. A lot of these Democrats that are going, I mean, some of them still have a soul. They're talking about abortions, but they're talking about the humane restrictions that we applied, and we've discussed this on the panel before on abortions and stuff. And I really believe that is what helped the Democrats stay above the water. Another tactic they used was democracy. They came out with this crying theme of democracy is on the ballot. No, it wasn't. Democracy was never a question. And to steal Herschel Walker's thunder, and that's another race I'd like to get with you, Jim and Donnie, if we have time, is the Georgia race, and what it boils down to is nothing now. But the Trump syndrome, if these politicians were affiliated with Trump, only 30% success rate, and the big hitters that we wanted him to take was
I don't think it was about
no,
Trump.
you fuck, Blaze, yes, yep, and you'll be able to defend that.
I don't think the
You'll be able.
Republicans did enough. I don't think they did enough. I don't think they came out and talked about fucking anything.
No, but see,
Where was fucking like Mitch McConnell and shit like that? These motherfuckers ain't say shit.
you know why? Because Mitch McConnell, and listen to me, don't say nothing. Mitch McConnell is responsible for the Republican Party. The mega Republican Party that's been drawn up now is what belongs to Trump. And that's why O'Connell didn't get all fucking all crazy and shit, man. It's because it's another party within a party. And that's another thing that killed the Republicans and
Yeah,
stuff.
but the goal was to fucking take over both. So put all of that fucking MAGA bullshit aside. You put it
No,
aside.
it's not bullshit. No, it's not
You know what I
bullshit.
mean?
It's a determining factor in the polls. Nobody wants Trump back again, man. They
Listen,
don't.
I'm
You
not
say
disagreeing you with that. I'm not disagreeing with you with that. Okay?
we
Not disagreeing you with that. All I'm saying is I don't think that the Republican Party came out and did as much as they should have. They didn't fucking talk about nothing. You said it yourself. They didn't mention anything about fucking abortions. They didn't talk about nothing. Sometimes I feel like the Republican Party is just fucking there. They got fucking ideas they want to talk about, but they never do nothing about nothing.
the Republican Party is in distress right now. They're looking for a leader, and I'm surprised the Almighty One hasn't announced. He is supposed. I heard winds through the media outlets today that Trump was going to announce he was going to go for presidency. Why?
Yeah. If he does,
Why?
that's going to make.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
That happened.
As your answer.
I don't know. The source. Fuck, man. Yeah, you're
Did
right.
that? When was that? Did that just happen now?
Today.
It happened today, man. And don't fucking ever fucking question my sources over fucking life.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Christ.
All right there, Mr. Snowden. What was I going to say? Anybody who's back, and I don't know. I'm in the same boat as D. I think you shouldn't even be attaching your name to him. I think the dude's a clown. He came and he did what he was supposed to do. He shook things up, and he just needs to go away, man. I don't think he's going to win. All he's going to do is draw votes from anybody else who could have. And
No.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. But look at the people that he affiliated with himself. Dr. Fetterman. Dr. Fetterman. He looks like Dr. Fetterman does look like a drug dealer from the streets. But anyways, Fetterman beat Dr. Oz, a well-respected gentleman, man.
Yeah.
Trump came in there and polluted that. Another one, Arizona.
But I guess, hold on a second, though. Here's the thing. I guess what it boils down to, and that, all right, the abortion thing, and you're right, they weren't really beating on any message. They kind of just
exactly. Will you just say it, please? They didn't fucking say anything.
Yeah, no. The point I'm trying to make is, I didn't even think they had to. Like you heard the list of crap I just ran down.
Right. I mean,
the country itself sits here and says
approval rating. You would fucking think.
Not even that, though. Like I said, all the other situations
fucking Donnie just passed out.
Man down. All the other things I mentioned.
I think he did. I think he buckled.
He did. Go back and watch. Go back and watch the show. He crashed right on the thing.
It happened like 14, 20. Look, where is
the
what happened?
Oh shit! I bumped it up.
Fucking, we thought you got attacked by some lunatic Democrats, bro.
My bad. I bumped it off. I was like, damn it.
Yeah. Anyway, you know what I mean. Just a situation we're in. I mean, I get it. Abortion is an appointment thing to, obviously a lot of people. And I understand that, but that's a fight you can have like when you're not starving or when you can afford gas. I don't know. I think there was a pretty clear distinction between the two parties, regardless of whether you have Donald Trump in there or not. It was still there's a clear difference between the two parties right now, and I don't know. I don't know how you could have voted the way they did. I just don't know. It's crazy. I don't know.
But
How can people want more of this?
look at the Republicans today. Like they had nothing better else to do. They haven't even got the fucking 218 yet. They're at 216 when they did the vote. Officially, they're at 217 right now. But they had nothing.
No, you're locked up there, D. All right. Well,
Okay, so I'll answer your one question, Jim. The reason they want to let people who are not legally here get a license because that's a state issued ID. At that point, you can vote.
Exactly.
You can vote.
I don't know.
You can,
Yeah. You know what? Listen, I'm going to tell you
that way.
something. I'm going to tell you something right now. In Massachusetts, I don't know about where you went, Blaze, but I walked in there. I didn't have to show ID. I just went, this is my name, and this is the street I live in. They're like, that's your
Right.
district over there. I went up, gave them my name. They're like, yep, check me off in a book. And they're like, here's your ballot. Go. I could have been anybody
Exactly.
and went and voted. I mean,
But that's the system we're in.
But I guess
so.
at the same time, now, this is my question, and I mean, you can't really do this because with me, I'd probably end up in prison. But I got all these things that I'm pretty sure, I'm like 99% sure, we got things at home. Like, do you want to vote from home, like with your mail? So I would love to see if I actually did that and then went down and tried to vote, if they would take both my votes. Again, I don't see how that's a good way to go about things. I don't think it should be.
But anytime we go and try to fix that system, all of a sudden you're suppressing voter rights. I don't think it's a crime to ask you to show a picture ID to go to vote. And given the technology and the digital age we're in, we got to be better about investing in actually machines that you can go in and maybe, scan a facial image or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. There's got to be. Yeah, I mean, if you can put it on my phone, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure there's more iPhones than there are voting machines. So
exactly, you can put
the technology exists. Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a better way,
There's got to be a better way. And when it comes to a lot of these votes, like the one in New Hampshire, all of a sudden the Democrat wins by 1 vote, and like how all of a sudden in Arizona that it was progressively leaning Republican, and then all of a sudden Maricopa County, a machine don't work, and now that it goes Democrat. That's happened twice now. It happened in the Biden thing, right? And I was like, okay, shit can happen, right? But the same procedures and processes are used and the same result happens. So now it makes you wonder, did you do that on purpose? And when you did that on purpose, did you figure out how you can slam a bunch of votes into that coding? You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, again,
come on, bro. That just don't make sense, man.
Yeah, but so you would have to have. That's. I mean, maybe I don't know, man. I can't imagine that would. You know how many people would have to kind of be in on that and keep their mouth shut?
I know, but I'm saying you can't expect the same result to happen over and over every election in the same area, and you don't think there's something going on. Come on, man. That's just not today's world. That's too easy to see, man.
But that's only all right. So let's say it is there, but that can't be all over the country, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Oh, but I'm just saying.
I'm not saying that it isn't possible that maybe somehow, and I don't know, maybe I don't know. It's I think if we're at that point, then we're screwed anyway, man.
Who won by a vote? Didn't somebody win by 8 votes?
Yeah, there's somebody in New Hampshire for some race.
Yeah, I can't think of the name.
And the Democrat won by 1 vote.
One fucking vote.
Yeah,
right.
Literally 1 vote.
Right. Come on.
No, I'm just saying I have no more faith in the voting system of our nation anymore.
No, because the Democrat.
You can't tell me it's there. There's people trying to hide votes and swing votes and playing with votes and doing dirty work everywhere. Republican, Democrat, all levels. You know what I'm saying? There's
Well,
dirt everywhere. It's
a Democrat would argue back with that about jerry rigging, so or whatever that fucking thing is.
Gerrymandering when you do about where you're doing the zones and who gets what region and districting and all that. That goes back to some of the bullshit Jim Crow laws or Jim Crow laws. That's the same districts they followed, and now you targeting people because of their race. And now that gets a little shady when you get into politics, man.
Really? That Democrats do that shit all the time.
I'm just saying, but that's our political system. And now we expect to think all of a sudden it's going to be merry. No, it's just as dirty.
Listen, the smartest thing Democrats did was push the vote from home. Vote from home, motherfuckers. You don't got to leave. We'll send it to you. You know what I mean? And in some states, you had to fucking print a copy of like your social security number and your driver's license or some shit or ID and send your ballot in with that. That's some state. A lot of fucking states, you didn't have to do shit. You just mailed it in.
Right.
Yeah, well, here's again, right.
Okay, so listen, hypothetical, right? Whoa. This is the rabbit hole, right? Come on.
Yeah.
This is rabbit hole, right? Who the fuck says that they ain't like you don't got 100 fucking Democrats, right? That fucking send in 3 or 4 ballots, right? So what's that? Like fucking almost 3,000 fucking ballots for the fucking for a Democrat because you're mailing them in. You don't have to send an ID or a copy of your ID or anything like that. Is it possible?
Yeah, all right, but my point is, well, of course it's possible. You have to get those people together. You have to think about trying to organize that, dude, and keeping it on the wrap. I'm just throwing it out there, man.
If somebody fucking wants it, they can organize it. Look at George Soros, man. The shit that dude organizes. Money talks. Money will be forever in this fucking world. And if you got it, you fucking don't got no worry about nothing.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess that's a way to look at it. If you can bribe enough people with enough money, then, I suppose you can,
Okay, but we do that on a regular
basis. Though, I mean, all right.
Hey, picture yourself being 18 years old. You're hanging out with your buddies. You're at a cake party in somebody's fucking backyard, and some dude approaches you and says, "Hey, you bunch of fucking degenerates. You want to make 500 apiece? You know what I mean? Take these things and fucking and do this with it. You know what I mean? Come on, think about
it, dude. A group of 18-year-olds wouldn't keep their mouth shut. That would definitely be on social media in like 15 minutes.
Listen, again, rabbit hole hypothetical, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're thinking some old school hypothetical that would get busted.
I mean, why if you're gonna go down that road?
I mean, be honest. Let's be honest. If you gave me a pack of fucking papers, if you gave me a pack of votes or whatever it is and said, go mail it in that mailbox, here's $500, but I'm halfway down the block, I'm fucking throwing those things away. You know what I mean? So I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, but do you realize what how many of those ballots make their way back? I mean, people think people take their mail-in ballots, right? And they'll shove them in that in your post office box. Where you you guys got them cubicles where you go check your mail?
Yeah, of course.
Or whatever. You know how I like to put it in that outgoing box because like, oh, it's not mine.
Yeah.
So for political mail like that, at the post office, they're required to take it back and send it back in. We can't just throw that shit in the trash. I learned that during the last political season, and I worked as a postal worker. You have to take it back, and they have to send it back or some crap. Yeah. So there's a prime way where all them ballots could all of a sudden just find their way into somebody else, or maybe the person that was there that got it, but it's not addressed to them. We're like, shit, some diehard Republican or Democrat, either way. What if they filled it out thinking, oh, I'll just cheat the system and get 2 votes in, because I want to be a Republican. Because those people were deceased or whatever.
I don't know, but why wouldn't Republicans do this? I mean,
exactly. They don't.
I'm just saying, stuff. I don't know.
You could have it that way. Our political system or our voting system is so corrupt. It's not even funny. It's all about and who can pay who. Because I really think
I do believe it's freaking. I mean, it's definitely outdated. Again,
it is.
It's 2022. There should be something we can do here to make things a little better.
There's gotta be something. It would be nice, but you're not going to get it because the Democrats, I think they really see that I can take control of this, and it's really, because at some point you get the momentum to say everything's by popular vote or whatever, and you just get that momentum, and as you slowly change it at the base, at the House, then you can slowly change it at the Senate, and yeah, they could just run over everybody if they get enough in numbers, and then you have this dumbass shit like we have now, go from right into dictatorship because we're dependent on somebody all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think a lot of it too. There was like, again, it was like a record number of, I think in the last 30 years, they said that the demographic of people who were from 18 to 29, it was literally like almost 30% of them voted, which is what I was going to get into. Is the other angle is, again, they send home these ballots where, these people who are 18 to 29 can just sit at home and vote. I mean, I'm willing to bet that if it wasn't mail-in voting, half of that would have happened. So again, it's a lot more convenient to do these things, and anybody at that age is usually going to be leaning more towards Democrat because again, they just got done with sitting home for a year and a half getting a paycheck. It's a lot easier to go, yeah, no, I'm good with this. And I mean, let's be honest, when we were talking about rabbit holes, the Dems have, or the libs, or whatever you want to say, they've had their hands on education and all of that for so long with the unions, and they absolutely, I mean, even with my own kids, have come home and said some things, and I'm like, dude, why you guys shouldn't be talking about that at school? Not to the point where, like, I feel like they're, maybe having a huge influence on them.
Not yet. They're starting off.
No, well, but the things that are mentioned, they're kind of. There was a couple of times where we're like, yeah, no, that's not okay to be talking about. But again, you have this group of, and this has been going on for a while. So all these kids that are 18 to 29, college age kids, I'm willing to bet that they would be voting, for the Green New Deal stuff, or all of those things. So when you have, I don't know, 50 million, I don't know, probably not that many. It's probably like 15 million people voting a certain way. I'm sure that helps skew the numbers as well,
Right. You know what that targeted marketing sounds like? It sounds a lot like what somebody else did, a dictatorship did a long time ago in Germany.
Yeah.
Indoctrinate the people early. Indoctrinate the people early. I get them at a younger age. Guess what? I can make them mold them my way.
Yeah.
That's a voting system. They're doing it.
I don't disagree.
They're doing it. They're doing it right in front of everybody. They're doing it right in front of our eyes. Yeah. Target the young ones. Get them indoctrinated early. Get them
I guarantee, schools. Again,
get them in the schools. Shoot.
Yeah, I'm sure there's numbers on it. You can probably look it up as well.
Jim, since your children are still young and they're in middle school now?
High school and middle school.
High school and middle school. Let's stay with middle school. Are they teaching? The normal shit that we are they teaching science? Fucking
no, they
social
do.
Studies.
I mean, honestly, today, I don't even know half of the stuff. My kid, I'm like, you got homework? He's like, yeah, but he does it on his laptop.
Right.
Or they have, like, what are they called? Chromebooks?
It's a Chromebook. Yeah.
So half of the stuff I don't even see. Like, once in a while, the kid will come home and have actual, like, homework. And then, I found out, like, all he has to do is, like, turn it in. It doesn't even matter whether it's right or wrong. I'm not even kidding you. I should have my wife come on and tell you, have a segment on this. But it's just I don't even know half of the stuff the kid's working on. I have to like beg the kid for information. I mean they put it on. You get there's apps now and all this other stuff too. But they don't grade kids like they used to. It's ridiculous, But I mean they still do all the stuff, reading, science, math, and they have other classes too now with like technologies and stuff, things like that. But
okay, so with that being said, hold all those thoughts. We are trying to get Mr. D back as we speak, ladies and gentlemen. We just got notification from him that internet in his area is down, and hopefully we'll get Mr. D back here up on the show when we come back. But with that being said, here is a little commercial break, and we'll be back in exactly 3 minutes, folks.
As well as my mental fitness.
And I want to see these beautiful young ladies. I want to see them dancing when they're 4 years older, too.
I'm looking forward to this, man. You walk behind me in a debate. Come here, man.
Why should people want to make a change, though?
Well, that's up to them to decide.
Why should they?
It's for them to decide.
Well, make your case.
I'm not going to. We can't rebuild our economy and meet this climate crisis, exacerbating the need for environmental justice. Sorry, as a bug. Speaking of the environment. We need to work again with Canada and Mexico as neighbors, not as adversaries. Donald Trump does pose an extra threat to this. It's not hypothetical. There's things that are worth dealing with China tough on. That makes it far more durable, reliable, and powerful. And partnerships built on coercion.
Because if you could take care, if you were a quartermaster, you can sure in hell take care of running a department store thing, where in the second floor of the ladies department or whatever, you know what I mean? And what makes his wild claims and hopes, he now hopes we don't notice what he said or won't remember. And when he does follow through or doesn't do, would follow through the exact opposite. 1.2 billion. So you go ahead and you stack spaghetti sauce at a store and in a supermarket. You control the guy or the woman who brings out the carts on a forklift. What happened? The way China will respond is when we gather the rest of the world that in fact believes in open trade and making sure that we're in a position that the world that we deal with WHO the right way. That in fact that's when things began to change. I looked at it anyway. That's what I think my plan. I know what my plan does. I mean. But I mean, it's not about, I know you're supporting by saying booing, but look, here's the deal. And I had a nurse nurses at Walter Reed Hospital who would bend down and whisper in my ear. Wow. And go home and get me pillows. They would make sure they'd actually, probably nothing ever taught in, you can't do it in the COVID time, but they'd actually breathe in my nostrils to make me move, to get me moving. So you don't make somebody else sick. Sick. What's with this guy? Well, the only thing we can do about it is be prepared. We have a whole group of lawyers who are going out to every voter registration physician in the states, the secretaries of state, making sure that they, in fact, have a game plan as to how they're going to allow the voting to take place. But in the 2020 census, which is now 2 censuses ago, soon to be, estimated that 200 million people have died, probably by the time I finish this talk. Unnecessarily, now we have over 120 million dead from COVID. That's why I made it a priority my entire career to work closely with you. From the time I got to the Senate 180 years ago, as well as my tenure as vice president. 1787, the United States.
And there you have it, folks.
I love listening to him.
And there you have it.
There's a couple of them.
Like, somebody is gonna tell me what the rest of this country is fucking thinking.
Dude, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. Again, Trump was a tool bag, and
listen,
but I mean, come on, man. That I sound like an idiot usually. I feel like when I talk.
Jesus Christ! It wasn't costing me. It wasn't costing me $17 fucking dollars for eggs.
Dude,
it wasn't costing me $6 for fucking milk.
How is this guy
when
the
Trump
president?
was fucking president? I'm sorry. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Yes, is he a bumbling fucking moron? Sticks his foot in his mouth. He says the stupidest fucking things anybody could ever say. If he runs again and DeSantis might go on a ticket, I'm going with DeSantis. So go ahead, Donnie.
if Trump announced that he was running for president, I was pretty unplugged this afternoon, not messing with too much of my phone and everything, but that would have been breaking news.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
I didn't
Yeah,
hear
you know
much
what?
about
You
that.
know what, guys? And
That might tell us something.
And D sent the text saying he hasn't found nothing. So I guess my source was a fucking babbling fool then.
But I'm just saying, if he did announce that he's running for president, or if he had every intention and he invited all the media people out to his Mar-a-Lago, whatever it's called,
Mar-a-Lago, yes, sir. Yeah,
Mar-a-Lago, whatever it's called, and he didn't announce that he's running for president, then I don't think he does it. I think he sees the writing on the walls because everybody, like Demas said, 30% of those that were associated with Trump or MAGA, the Make America Great Again movement, yeah, they lost. And you know what? Dems were grateful for that because they attacked that. They made it about democracy, and it was a battle between the evil MAGA people and the leftists and the Democratic liberal people that we need to vote for doing the right thing, and those are the Democrats. So they campaigned on that. And there's a lot of people out there just like us that are tired of the whole MAGA movement, and we start to see, yeah, you're just a bunch of loudmouths sometimes. And you know what? That probably swung some votes their way towards Democrats. Yeah. They were like, hey, I might want to try this for a minute because
D is back. Go ahead, Donnie.
I had a reboot.
No, just think about it though. Let's just think about that. If it's he would announce his presidency, that would have been all over everywhere. Or is he just so wore out that the media is like, whatever, we're tired of hearing about you, and they don't even care.
No, that would be breaking news all day, no matter what.
It's projected to come out at 9 o'clock today, Eastern Standard Time.
9 p.m.
So I'd like to question your sources there, Blaze, on Trump's announcement.
Hey, listen, guys, what I just say? I apologize, and my source was fucking shit.
God damn it, Crapo.
Maybe my source jumped the gun. Maybe my source knew what was going on and jumped the gun. I don't know.
Yeah, but you could tell that's video. That's chopped up. Whatever, man. That was some chopped up video. But the bigger point is, who's gonna go and vote for Trump if they put DeSantis on that ticket, or if they put even somebody that's even got some resemblance of how to run a business, or a corporation financially in a positive mode. Because the number 2 donor in the Republican Party already said he doesn't want to back Trump.
I mean,
so come on now. And
I think all it's going to
do that on his own.
So you make mention of donor funds. I just wanted to add something on this. So big scam going on with FTX cryptocurrencies. And I can't think of the gentleman's name. I want to say it's Hagman. And he was a big donator to the DNC, like 40 million. But anyways, this FTC company went bankrupt, and it fucked a lot of people, man. And they are relating this scandal to the Enron scandal. And we all remember the Enron scandal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I just wanted to throw that out there. I heard funds, and
but Jim,
what's up?
No, I wanted you to have your comment because I was making a point about the two different things in the Republican Party right now.
All I want to say, what you were going through a bunch of different stuff is, I think if he does run again, that's my opinion. A, I don't think he should, and B, if he does, it's just going to hurt any other Republican that even has a shot at it. I mean, I don't even know that he would make it through a primary. I don't think they would pick him.
So the first primaries would be Iowa and New Hampshire.
Yeah, I know. Well, you saw what they did to Bernie one year, That's what I'm talking about is like, I just don't, I don't know. I think
the Democrats couldn't have fucked him more.
yeah, they definitely took that and said, "Sorry, dude."
Okay, because when Bernie, because when Bernie was in the backstage or something at one of these things, and they're like, "Look, Bernie, you're just gonna shut the fuck up." And, we're gonna do what
This
we're
isn't how
gonna
it's
do
going to play
here.
out, but thanks for coming in.
Yeah, exactly, Bernie. You know what I mean?
Well, and I think that's
What
kind of the way.
we would like you to do right now, sir, is just go out there and tell all your fucking supporters to back Hillary, and
Here's some tapioca pudding. Hit the road.
one guy's there with his cell phone showing his daughter all tied up and shit. You know what I mean? So it's just which way it's going to happen, Bernie. You know?
All right, but yeah, no, that's my thoughts on it. I think it's going to just ruin the whole situation, and I think we just the party itself, regardless of
that was funny. You guys suck.
It was funny. So was the tapioca pudding, but I didn't get a chuckle out of that either. I think he just poisoned the well at this point. I don't think there's going to be enough people that are going to get behind him, and I don't think he's even going to make it to that point, if you ask me.
Right.
But I'm usually wrong about everything I predict. So
who is I don't think the Republican Party is going to support Trump. Do you think the Republican Party will not support Trump if DeSantis enters the race?
I don't know. That's a tough call. I don't think he's gonna. I mean, no. I think
no. So what do you think? So what do you think? So what do you think that the Republican Party's thinking of? Oh, let Trump go for it again. He'll probably get fucking slaughtered this time. You know what I mean? And just deal with Democrats for another 4 years, then bring DeSantis up. I don't know. I kind of think that we would need someone like him, or just somebody else. Listen, I liked Rubio when he was running, when Trump and all of that was going on. I really did. I liked Rubio. The guy talks well. Everything. He just, for me, he grabbed my attention. And so yeah. What do you guys feel about that? Let's go with, excuse me, Mr. D. Donald, sorry.
Yeah.
Demas, go.
No, you go, Donald. No,
I can very well see
Donald,
the Republican Party. No, I could see the Republican Party. If DeSantis put him on the ticket, they put him with some good VP, female VP again, maybe Hispanic, Latina. Oh, yeah, they'll dump Trump in a heartbeat.
You think
I
so,
really think the Republican Party is at a point where they're saying, just like Demas and just like Jim have been saying, you are toxic for the well, dude. We don't need you, man.
Right.
We don't.
Right. Good. Okay, fine. I'm glad. Day. So the Republican Party gets fucking like, all right, listen, you motherfuckers want to play this way? We're going to play this way. I'm fucking DeSantis. And like you said, an intelligent Latina. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about who's the broad from Alaska that fucked it up for McCain. You know what I mean? Sarah Palin. You know what I mean? You don't want to grab something like that. Good looking, but fucking dumb as a rock. You know what I mean?
Hey, let me add to that on the Sarah Palin thing. She's so dumb as a rock. She's going against, it's still open. I don't know. I guess Alaska's a little slow on counting. She's going for a House representative seat up there. She's losing by 20 points to a Democrat. To a
okay, and
she's done.
Yeah.
She's done.
Yeah. She was done 10 years ago.
But no,
12 years ago, whenever.
No.
I don't even remember when it was.
And
what was that? It was with McCain, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He picked her as his running mate. Yeah. He picked her.
And you know who Donald Trump's going to pick?
Who?
Carrie Lake out of Arizona.
She's a firecracker. She's a firecracker.
Yep.
And he's going to lose.
Yep. And shit.
I agree with my brothers on the panel. Jim, you haven't said nothing, but I'm telling you, DeSantis comes up again. Latina.
What do you mean I haven't said anything?
No. I didn't. I apologize. I apologize. I didn't hear if you agreed with that. That's all.
Oh yeah, I agree with what? That DeSantis is the one I would bat. Absolutely. I said that last week. I'm like, he's exactly what we need. I'm like, he's got the same basic policies, but he don't have the mouth. He doesn't run his mouth. He isn't going to be on Twitter, just like, Twitter. You know what I meant.
I told it to a booty cat.
That's all Trump does. He just keeps news cycles rolling. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, just shut up, hang in the background and do your job, man.
Right.
That's all he needed to do. If he would have just done that, and every week you were like, dude, would you just shut up? You know what I mean? Just do what you're doing and shut up.
My wife and I used to get fucking ready to sit on the couch and watch one of his addresses or whatever. And the first,
I'd shut it off. I couldn't even.
Right.
It's like no,
The first two words that her and I said was, "Jesus Christ, don't say nothing stupid." And he's not even fucking 4 minutes in.
Yeah,
and he's saying something stupid.
Yeah,
you know, you can never get me to disagree with that. But all I'm saying is,
no, I know. I mean, it was fun in the beginning when he's crooked Hillary and he's throwing these,
right.
That was
right,
fun, and then
right.
it's like, okay, now you won. Time to put the freaking, your Legos away, and.
But he was like, a big kid. Oh, look, everybody likes me, so I'm going to keep fucking talking.
Sad,
you know what I mean?
It's kind of sad. That's what I mean. If DeSantis did run, I think his platform would be pretty damn close, if not almost exactly along the lines of what Trump and his policies were. And I would say probably 80+% of them I agree with. And I would back him 100%. And if Trump was on there, I would still back. I don't care. I don't even want Trump on the ticket, dude. As a matter of fact, I really, really hope this country does not make me choose between Donald Trump and Joe Biden again. I will probably friggin' move.
Hey guys, I got a quick question, producer question. I don't think it's not bad to ask over the airways, but if this announcement breaks out at 9 p.m., we stay on air and watch a little bit of it.
Yeah,
show of hands.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I guess.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. If Trump comes out at 9, the rabbit hole will stay running, and we'll talk about that. Donald, you've been pretty quiet. I'm hoping you found what you're looking for on the floor there.
No, Donnie, I want to make a statement in reference to a video that was shown on FFN Media down the rabbit hole. It was false, everyone. It was false. Trump did not announce his election thingy wingy.
Okay.
Right. It was bad sauce by the producer's part.
Okay,
bro, you ain't gonna dig me a hole, dude.
Nah,
you know what I mean? I don't even know what you're doing. You know?
Watch out, D.
Go ahead, Donnie.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, I wanted to go back to something Jim said about how he couldn't believe how everybody voted this way, and he made a comment of, you got all these certain age groups of people that were sitting at home for 18 months just collecting a check. So if we go back to your Titler cycles, are we going from apathy to dependence? Because let's be honest, apathy, there's a lot of people out there that just don't give a shit anymore. They're like, whatever, I don't care. Do whatever.
Yeah, no,
I had enough. I'm going to worry about me and what I got to do. And I ain't going to lie, I'm one of them. I'm just like, I've had enough.
Right. So Jim, read that comment.
You know?
All right. I heard Monica Lewinsky is voting Republican now. She said a Democrat left a bad taste in her mouth.
Which Democrat was that?
I'm not sure. It was crooked Hillary's.
Donnie, I jumped in on you, my brother. I apologize. Go ahead, continue.
Hey,
it's a couple of, nothing like some low rent jokes to bump the ratings.
Right.
If it's the truth, it's the truth. I could never say I don't want to know either.
Right?
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna set up I'm gonna set up a PayPal, pay $1, and I'll throw fucking a dancing naked broad up on a screen for a little while. We'll generate some revenue, D, and then we can talk some numbers, bro.
So again, I just want to go back to the whole. The one thing that sticks out in all of it for me is the 85% of the people that they did at exit polls, right? And again, it's not some right-leaning thing. This was off CNN, dude. Look it up. 85% of the people they polled coming out of the voting booths said that the country is on the wrong track. So if 85% of the people who voted think we're going in the wrong direction, why do you keep
voting them in?
Voting the people who are in power going in the wrong direction. Why do you do that? And again, I think like a real huge portion of that was from the people who generally 18 to 29 wouldn't have gotten up and gone to the polls if they didn't have the option to vote by mail. And maybe even some of the other people. I mean, let's think about it, dude. you're already home. You're not at work.
Right.
I'm just kidding. But, you know, I don't know. I can't imagine that people who work for a living, who have, you know, a mortgage to pay, their own bills to pay, food to buy, having to heat their house, put clothes on their backs, and have kids on top of that, would vote for more of what we have now. I just don't understand it. And maybe even Donald's point of apathy. I mean, again, we're talking about the Tytler cycle thing. Even if you didn't give a shit, I mean, don't you care about the future of your kids and everybody else? That's, you know what I mean? I just don't get it. So I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand how we get to where we are. What is that mindset that tells people that maybe, again, is it their thought process that maybe they will be taken care of, that all of this stuff, they're going to be able to sit home and get paychecks? Like, that's not how it's going to work. There is no such thing as utopia, and that's what it seems like we're trying to create here. Again, in Massachusetts alone, I mean, it makes me sick to even live in this friggin' state, dude. I'm telling you, we had a $3 billion surplus where we're going to get checks back, and we're voting to take money from people who make over $1 million. We're going to tax them, you know, higher at that rate. So you're already getting money back. You're using your vote basically to take money out of more people's hands. Does it make sense? I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of.
Right.
They think they're just going to be able to vote themselves gifts from the Treasury, and unfortunately, they don't have to worry about it because they're already taken care of. I don't know.
Donald?
But that's what you got to change the thinking on that, because $3 billion, I'm pretty sure that the state of Massachusetts, what's their debt to the U.S. government? What do they owe the U.S. government? Did they think about paying that off? No, because the dumbass policies and loose fiscal policies that we've made for decades, they think that if I put more money into the economy, yes, it will boost the economy, but then it goes down these serious slopes where it dives down in the economy. And they've forgotten that we got to keep up with inflation isn't giving everybody a raise. What it is making sure that purchasing power stays with inflation. And I think they don't look at that. They just look at a dollar amount.
That's absolutely right. I agree with that too. But, well, man, I just lost my I hate when that happens. I just had something to say, and I
Refrigerator.
Huh?
Refrigerator.
No.
Refrigerator. Oh, man.
No, but that's the problem. I think that's part of the problem, is the policies we make. And now we're at a point politically where we're making policies based on race. And whether you get something or you don't get something off that race. And there's no way in hell we could be a functioning government if we dictate down to that much about who gets what. That is straight control. And that's what Democrats are going for. And by handing stuff out and saying it's free, you can get that.
Yeah. I mean, dude, there's plenty of people from all races that don't do shit. I mean, again, there's a whole where you go on YouTube right now and look at how many people sit home and play video games.
But social media
is a lot more white dudes. I'm gonna tell you that. What's that?
But social media has made that platform. Where
that's a whole other rabbit hole. Social media is another huge problem. I just wanted to make one point. You were saying something about paying off the debt. Well, in that situation, they can't, because that $3 billion was from mass state tax. So that came from me. It's not it's a state tax, not a federal tax. So that's our money, you know. I'm just throwing it out there.
That's why I said the state. How much does the state owe the U.S. government?
Oh, I have no idea.
So could you pay off your state debt with it, and you put it to a proposal of the people?
Well, then, yeah. I mean, if it went up to a vote, but I would be like, no, give me my money back.
Investment? But what's the better long-term investment as a state?
Well, the better.
Think about it. Think about it. All the financial troubles we're in, and what's the first thing financial experts and financial advisors want to tell you? Oh, get rid of your debt, lower your debt, debt, get rid of your debt. And
so are you saying we should send that to the federal government and try to pay down the federal deficit? Yeah,
no,
dude. When we send them money,
they for your state. Just your state, Massachusetts.
Yeah. I got what you're saying. Yeah. I don't have an answer for you on what we owe or
economically.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for you. I never really actually.
That's what I'm saying. That's
let's think about that.
Policies come from.
Let's think about that answer after we come right back. Stick around for more The Rabbit Hole, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Rabbit Hole right here on FFN Media. I mean, we were just like smoking a whole bunch of stuff out there, but we're talking about elections, all that stuff like that. I think that I don't know how many still feel that Trump could be the man. You know what I'm saying, for another presidency, but I don't feel that way, and I'll say it here right now. Even if he runs, if another Republican runs with him, then I'm going with the other guy. You know, and because at this point we need fucking a lot of shit to change. You know what I mean? You can't spend $17 for fucking eggs, man.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, the people that are fucking living paycheck to paycheck now, bro, they're getting it. They're fucking taking a hammer. You know what I'm saying? They're just taking a hammer to everything. You know, it's coming to the point. I think we said it or uttered it a little bit on last week's show. Is that, you know, you're going to have bills in your hand and you're going to be like, especially, you know, a family with kids, you know, and you're going to sit there and you're going to be like, okay, I'll let the electric bill go because, I want Billy to fucking play baseball, or we need some more macaroni and cheese in a house type of shit. And that's open for discussion to anybody. Go for it.
Yeah, again, I don't know. I don't think Trump. We don't need any more of the like back and forth or the like just nastiness in politics anymore, dude. I mean, they're definitely nasty on the other side, no doubt. They fight dirty, but I mean, all this name calling and the shit that he stirs up, and just like the drama that surrounds that guy is to probably most people not worth it, and they don't want to deal with it. And I don't know. It's time to move on from him, and
This all
somebody with
comes
the same
to
policies that can just keep his mouth shut and get the job done. And these younger people who gravitate and probably more because there is coercion in there, and there's definitely some brainwashing going on in our schools with that stuff.
right. So let's take it back from the beginning, where like how it all fucking like began, or how we think it would begin. Let's jump into the Tyler circle. You know what I mean? And
so just one last time, it's called the Tytler.
Okay.
Tytler.
Well, hey, look, I'm way back here. I got a little.
I know. Tytler cycle.
But it's the Tytler cycle. Cycle. And yes. Jim, if you want to go ahead and give that a whirl, man, because this is like, smoke it if you got it type of shit. You know what I mean? Because it's crazy. When I first learned about it, it made me think. So go ahead, kid.
Yeah, we actually wrote, we started writing an album about it.
Yeah, well, we did write
and I heard about it years ago as well. I mean, this is not anything new either. The guy's name was Alexander Tytler. And he basically wrote this whole paper and had this theory behind the fact that democracies and civilizations have a basic cycle that they run through, and it generally lasts anywhere from 2 to 250 years. And it's kind of a natural progression of things. So it starts off in tyranny and, like they call it bondage, basically, because you're being ruled by somebody. It's either a tyrant king of some sort. And people, as this, excuse me, starts unfolding, in societies, they break off into different tribes and different types of stuff. And eventually, as a whole in a society, they gain like a spiritual faith. They wrap their heads around a religion or whatever it may be. And just like so many of these things that unite people, it gains that group of people the courage to stand up for themselves and fight back, basically, and through what's right, what's wrong, blah blah blah. They end up fighting for their own freedoms, and they gain their liberty from them. And then through that liberty, again, their economies grow, they make money, they become abundant with wealth, and things go great for them. And that situation, everybody becomes accustomed to turn people selfish. Instead of looking outward on their neighbor where they used to, they look inward on themselves. And it's not a social community type of situation anymore. People are all selfish. You know what I mean? It's all about me, me, me. People become complacent. They stop speaking out. They stop getting involved with certain areas that people always would, with politics, for instance, all of those things. Our government was set up where at one point, you would go into government, and it wasn't supposed to be a lifelong job. It was supposed to be you go and you serve your people kind of thing. You were, what's the word? You were paid basically whatever wage you were making at the time, and that was the whole point. It was you get in, you do your thing, and you get out. But in any case, people as time went on, you didn't have the time to do that or the means to do that. People become complacent, and then I believe where we are right now is apathy. Nobody cares about anything. You know, if you look from where we are now to
Entitlement and
40 years,
sorry,
yeah, well,
complacency,
you actually put it up.
entitlement, and self absorption. Sorry.
Yes, yeah. Again, you look at what Facebook is. You look at what all of the social media platforms, the Instagrams, all of those things. That's what it's all about. Is look at me. Look at how awesome I am. Look at my awesome life. You know what I mean? It's not about anybody else but themselves. It's just like this. You know what I mean? You know what it is. You know, in the apathy stage is the really dangerous spot because now people aren't willing to get out and vote. They're not willing to do research to actually look at what's going on in their own country, and they're not willing to stand up and vote against a group of people that are willing to literally just starve you, for lack of a better way to describe it. I mean, if you think for a second that any of these politicians, whether they're right or left, really care about you and your family, you're detached from reality because they don't. They absolutely don't. But the problem is we let it get to that point, and now if everybody's in that same point, it makes it really easy for somebody to just go, just give me what I need because I can go and work for $22 an hour and work 50 hours a week, and maybe I'll be able to afford a one-bedroom apartment somewhere that I can turn the heat up to 69 degrees, and maybe I have steak once or twice a week. Or I can just say, you know what, I'll vote for you and I'll get a paycheck. I mean, if I was 18 to 29, if I was in that position, age doesn't really matter at that point. It's if you're in a position where working is a worse option than begging from the government, then we're in some deep trouble. And I think that's where we are in a lot of areas in this country right now. And once that happens, it becomes dependence because right now we're talking Joe Biden is ready to shut down all the coal plants in America. That's what he wants to do. He ran on that platform. You know, again, we've gone over this a little bit in other other shows, but there's still a ton of I don't. Again, it's not a ton, but there are quite a few coal-fired electric plants for electricity. Right now, 64% increase in my bill as November 1st. Let's see. Let's shut down some more plants. What's going to happen? Again, everybody's going to be to that point where there's not going to be like this in lower class that gets their support and they're on welfare, and we kind of have to help them along. And then there's this middle, lower, middle, and upper middle class section, and then there's the wealthy. It's just going to be wealthy and everyone else, and that's what they want. And once they get that happening, once that happens, again, we're all going to be here with our hands out, and right from there it goes right back into tyranny. And that's the way the cycle goes, round and round and round. So I think we're in the end stages of this, man. When you look through all of those spots, like I said, me, Blaze, and another gentleman, Ricky, started writing an album about all of this. And you can, each one of these stages that I mentioned, you can look at it and kind of see where the correlation is in the United States. It's kind of scary to me. So it was one of those things that once I read about it, it kind of blew my mind. And if you talk about a rabbit hole, I mean, you can look at that. It's pretty crazy. So is it true? Do we have only another 15 years left? Or you think we're going to be able to take this country as divided as it is and, again, just look at how much in debt we are. How are we ever going to pay that off? Look at where we're actually heading, and take a step outside of that circle and look in and say, how can we ever get out of this?
Right. D, you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna get at is the Trump thing, and fuck, man, I just got some notice. Um, Trump Trump's that poison in the well again, and I'm gonna jump on that same bandwagon. Um, I don't know. I don't know, Blaze. And I feel the same way you do about Trump and stuff and the way he talks and stuff, but he's polluting these voters, man. And they're Joe Biden targets this group, the mega Republicans, and that's what helped them too in the midterms, man. He tagged this about 2 to 3 months ago.
So you think people are getting sick of it?
I'm sorry to say yes. And we've all said it. The
I think
Republic.
all four of us just said it in here that we're
Yes,
fucking sick of it. But go ahead.
yeah, and it's just going to make me cringe, to watch this clown. I mean, it's going to be extravagant, his announcement. It's just he just doesn't understand how divisive he is. Yes he does, and that's what brings the animal out of him, and that's what brings the animal of some mega Republicans as well.
All right. So we got to figure it out. And um but I agree with you to a point where Trump poisoned all of this. I do. I do. I agree with you. So far so good. We're not yelling and screaming at one another. But um again, for me, Democrats in themselves, like, I mean, nobody was talking about nothing. All I was doing was reading it on media outlets, and when I was reading it on media outlets, you'd see somebody from a Democrat party talking about, oh, well, this person, the Democrats, doing great in Arizona, and not fucking one Republican. Republicans weren't coming out and doing that. They weren't talking about it at all. Donald, go.
Well, I'm gonna go back to Jim's question, and yeah, the only way we get out of our debt is we start paying it. That's the only way. But we become so dependent, and our fiscal policies are so loose that there's no way we could ever do that.
We're going to borrow money from, right?
Yeah. Same people we always borrow money from.
China.
Yeah, we borrow. No, Japan actually owes. We owe Japan more money than China, but we're going to finance it up. Yes, they're right there neck and neck every year, but they're going to finance it off the back of everybody else, and then they're going to expect the taxpayers to pay for it. And yes, it goes right into those things and that cycle. Jim's explaining that. I think we're going right there into dependence, because think of it another perspective of everybody says they sit at home collecting checks. If that situation works for you in your situation, then why would you not take advantage of that? And if you're smart and you take advantage of all that, like say during the pandemic when people were getting damn near, $1,000 a week or whatever. If you're real smart with that money and you paid down your debt and then you invested that money, you could actually use that money to make yourself well off now. And if you had enough means and you had enough paychecks where you could put a roof over your head and put some food on the table, why did they not stay home? And it wouldn't matter what your age is. You know what I'm saying? Then you can start enjoying some life and doing what you want to do, right?
Yeah, there was actually another again, I didn't bring it up. I was going to send it to you guys, and I saw it. There's an article out there. I'll see if I can dig it up. It said that during the pandemic, the middle classes, where I think I was looking at some of those stats, actually had like the biggest wealth gain in a bunch of years. I was like a couple of years during that pandemic, because they were able to stay home, collect money, and they had it made. Now it's obviously it's going the other way at a pretty rapid pace.
Right.
And
that's the problem from the loose fiscal policies that we have in place that allow those that make the policies to get the money. And then
the inflation situation is murdering people too. I think that's what it has to do a lot with, is your money doesn't go as far as it used to, like you were saying. So whatever savings or whatever it's gone now, and you're just getting burnt anyway. But I wanted to make one other point. We were talking about, the Republicans not coming out and not having this, they didn't do anything. And maybe on that level, even that they are also apathetic. They thought they not in the same terms as like the people who become apathetic. I'm saying in general with their own campaigns and their own um, stuff that they were running, they figured because of this the media and everybody around them and everything that was polling, it pretty much said, you got it in the bag, so they didn't bother. They thought they had it was theirs to lose, and there was so much hype around them that they just didn't bother because it did seem like they didn't try much.
Right, but that's where a lot of our petitions are in that cyclic phase of where it's somewhat dependent. There's a phase that they go through where it's like, I can do no wrong. And they feel like they're above the law.
Yeah.
And let's think about that right there. How many politicians, Senator Cruz over here in Texas, Donald Trump, Pelosi with the whole, oh, my husband does the investment stuff. How many of them are actually up there making those bills and thinking that they can exempt themselves from some bills? They have the power to exempt themselves. They can put something into law and say everybody else in America has to follow it but us.
Oh yeah, they do it all the time. They have a different healthcare system. Pretty sure they ain't playing like I am for Tufts health plan. They don't have to worry about deductibles.
Right. I know they don't have to worry about none of that. They have all the things, but that's who we put in charge, and the system allows them to stay in charge because we vote them back in, right? So who's to really blame on it?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I don't know. That's why you have like living in Massachusetts, dude. There wasn't not one like read anything anywhere at all. Nothing like blue all the way down the ticket. And again, I don't. Obviously, my sample of people is small because it's only the people I know. Obviously, I didn't do my own polling, but I mean, I go to a lot of different places and I meet up with a lot of different people. I don't know anybody who outright would just vote for all these things, which scares me even more because like these are the people I live around that are willing to give illegal aliens licenses. They're just like, I don't know. I still don't understand that mindset. If that's the mindset, how do you change that mindset? That to me is insane. I just don't see it how anybody can vote for this. I mean, I wish there was somebody listening or who could come on this chat.
You can fix it.
Just, I'd like to see give me some examples. I mean, try to find me something positive again that like any metric that you would measure a president by. Show me a good one from Biden. I mean, really. And
no, there isn't one.
I don't know.
But a lot
or
of
even what we're going to get from Democratic policies, like what are we going to get from that? So what does it say? The economy was fine when Trump was in. He told everyone when Biden gets in, gas would go up, and gas would go, and there would be inflation. That's your vote at work. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he knew it was happening. I mean, at the same time, we also did give away millions and billions of dollars, to people who were sitting at home. So I think we would have still had the inflation issue at some point, but I think the other decisions like the pipelines and I don't know where we would be with Russia and Ukraine. I don't know. There's a lot of what ifs on that. That's a whole bunch of rabbit holes to dig through. But no, I mean that you're right. He knew it was going to happen, though. He saw it coming. I think we all did, even when they were handing out checks. I mean, anybody who was like, "Yeah, I'll just take my another $2,000, and nobody's ever going to have to pay for this." I mean, no matter what, everybody saw it coming. They just put their head in the sand and kept signing that check. And again, that's the point. As soon as the government's going to hand it out, you're going to take it, and people get a taste of it, and they don't want to let it go.
D?
Right.
I'm just wondering who Fox is going to have on. I believe it's Sean Hannity, ain't it? When he makes his announcement.
Sean Hannity's at 9, yeah.
Yep. No, and this generational change and We all were at one time. I believe I speak for myself and Blaze. I know Blaze's childhood history. We were born Democrats. I went in the military. That converted me to a Republican. Blaze wasn't a Democrat right away, but when he started paying taxes on house, taking the trash out, he got that generational shift, understanding the Democrats couldn't do nothing more for him, and that's what happens with a large population out there of Americans, and they gauge this. And one thing that concerns me is, and they haven't talked about it too much recently, but the election night there was a lot of young voters that came out to vote, and that was from your Biden uh, student loan that hasn't even went through the court. It went through the court and it stopped. And Biden probably knew that.
Well, yeah,
But
I
look,
mean,
look,
again,
look. We all sit here and say Biden is an idiot and all that. This guy's been doing this shit for almost 50 years, man. He knows how to gauge the crowd. Engaging the crowd would be the American people. He knows what's to bite off on him. You know, he's talking about Jim Crow laws, uh, with the gerrymandering and all that crap. Shit, Biden went to Atlanta and he talked about Jim Crow 2.0. Isn't that a great seller?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
Jim Crow 2.0
yeah, yes, no.
to say.
Go ahead,
I'm sorry.
Donnie.
Go ahead, dude. No,
No,
that's
no,
a great Jim 2.0, Jim Crow 2.0, because now I'm going to say that, and I'm going to say it in a manner that says, hey, we're going to reverse those dumbass policies, and we're going to fight
yes,
against that. And
yes,
I'm going to
Donnie.
be your
Yes,
savior.
yes,
And
yes,
that's,
Donnie.
guess what? Hell yeah, because they know Trump, take Trump to go in there with his loud mouth. He ain't going to fight for that stuff. So they're like, well, you ain't doing nothing for me. I ain't voting for you.
Yes,
That's that dependence phase and then Titler cycles that Jim was talking about. Now you're starting to get more in that dependent phase where I depend on you to make sure I'm okay. I don't have to. There's no accountability. There's no responsibility. There's no consequences for my actions. It's not my fault. The system made me this way.
man.
But if you want to get rid of some of that, you have to privatize some of the federal programs we have now, i.e., let's say healthcare. Privatize that. That
Donnie,
includes VA, brother. All of it.
Don,
Because you put
Donnie,
more on the economy. What?
you're on fire. I forgot where I was at, man. Help me out. I
Whatever.
didn't
I don't
interrupt you.
know.
I didn't know. I don't know where I was at. You
Well,
on
I'm just saying, you
motherfucking
got to
fire.
privatize some of that. But that's that generational change you talk about, Demas, where if I can
Yes.
get those young people and I can make them dependent, now I got control. So there's somebody back there, some Democratic, far strategist dude that, he's thinking about this 20, 30 years from now. Because how often do we vote on senators? Is it 2 years at a time or 4 years?
Six.
I don't know.
Six.
6.
Six. That's a sweet deal. That is
Right?
a sweet
Right?
deal.
I mean,
So
Six.
so
It's,
think about it though. That's a lot that can be done in 6 years when one person or one party has control of the offices.
but no. But hear this
I mean,
out
think
though.
about it.
With with the projections, I think definitely. I mean, the idiots already fucking named McCarthy as Speaker of the House. Um, the House of Republicans can bring havoc on what's going on now. The purse strings. Now, if they get the majority, that means they're the ranking members on these committees, man. Oh, that is sweet, man. And that's no, and we got to see. We got to see if McCarthy grabs all his ammunition and all the shit he was talking about. The first fucker they need to impeach is Mayorkas. And if Mayorkas doesn't resign, it's going to be an embarrassment to the Biden administration because they're going to tear him up.
oh shit, Donnie, look at the light bulb.
Go ahead, Donnie. You have something to say?
He's on fire.
But
Yeah.
there you go with your impeachment bullshit. We're gonna waste more time and tax dollars on
Get him,
No.
Donnie.
No,
Get him,
No,
Donnie.
no,
you got
the
to. You got
bullshit.
to.
No,
No,
that's the same
Mayorkas.
bullshit. No,
No.
shut the hell up.
Nope, I'm not. Nope.
Told you
Nope,
one man about
Mayorkas
2 years.
gotta go. Nope.
No, I'm
You
not
don't know
talking
what
about the
you're
Mayorkas. I don't care
No.
about that dude. He has nothing to
Wait.
do for me. I don't care. I'm talking about you and that impeachment bullshit you want to keep yapping. Ain't
How do you
nobody
get?
trying to get
How do you
impeached.
get? How do you get rid of a cabinet member? You impeach him, man. We're not talking about presidency. Let
We're
Joe go
wasting
all the
time
way
with
to
that,
the end.
Demas.
No, we're not. No, we're
Yes,
not.
you are.
Because the American people need to see in black and white. The Democrats brought Trump on stage, and bring in all his history of his administration. Let's bring fucking Biden's administration and show the American people where it's fucked up. Yay or nay, man. We got to have investigations. They're dirty up there.
And what is it? What are they going to prove, Demas? What is the last 8 years of investigation proved?
Maybe
They've
no.
proven nothing, Demas. Listen, Demas, they've proven nothing. I want you to get your ass in your office and do your job. I don't care about the investigations at this point. It don't matter because all the dirty shit you do, you're going to do either way. The investigation's going to find it, and then what? Nobody's going to get persecuted. Nobody's going to get prosecuted. Nothing happens other than maybe a slap in the wrist, and you're a bad politician. Don't do it again.
So you're saying don't.
No,
so
wait a
you're
minute. Wait a minute.
So Donnie,
If
you're
you were-
saying
if
don't
you
waste
were
your
one of-
time, right?
No, if you were one
Exactly
of them
what I'm
border patrol, if you were one of them border patrol agents, fucking bring it in your animal, your horse, with your reins, and you went through the ringer like that, I know you would not be talking about this way. I know you wouldn't. Them
Jim?
them border patrol agents right
Demas.
now, they have an umbrella over them. They have a lot of bogus shit on them. Tell me they're going to make their next rank. Tell me they're going to make their next position.
That's
Why
the
not?
point, Demas.
Why not?
I'm
No,
not worried about an
no.
individual border patrol agent making the
not?
next rank. I don't
Why
care.
not?
What
Why
I want
not?
you to do is to
Because
stop
no.
immigration, Demas.
No,
I want
no.
you to fix the
They were
policies and do
stopping.
your
No,
job.
they were stopping immigration. Mayorkas
Demas,
let
Demas,
them come in. No,
Demas,
no.
Are you going to stop
No, I
talking
want
and
you to.
listen to
I
another
want.
opinion for a minute?
No,
Or are you just going to keep yapping your gums and not let anybody say nothing?
no. Go
Which
ahead,
one are
man.
you going to do?
No, go ahead. Go, but it better be good. I'm listening.
Okay,
Talking
so
to me?
all these little politicians and these senators and these House of Representatives that we've elected to these offices, I don't want them at the border in Florida or Texas or Arizona or California or anywhere else worried about one little individual agent making his rank. I could give two shits. Do what you need to do to get promoted. That's your job. You volunteered for it. Do your damn job. What I want that politician to do is to sit their ass in that office and do their job and talk to the guy on the other side of the table and find a compromise so we can figure out how to keep 250 million people coming in here and being a burden on the system of the taxpayer. That's what the hell I want them politicians to do.
But
Sit
you
your ass
can't.
in there, and I want you to follow a military schedule and get a 4-day weekend on a holiday. But other than that, you sit your ass in there and you get it done until it gets done. I don't give a damn if it takes 12, 18 hours, or 2. Get it done. How about that one, Demon?
No, I'm not buying that because I
That's
know
what
you
they
better.
need to do because that's what's going to benefit the public.
Nope. See, but then again, we're making martyrs out of border patrol agents.
You brought up the border patrol agent.
No,
I don't care about if it's an FBI agent or police officer. I don't give a damn if it's me and I have to go do my job. Get your ass in there and do your job.
I did my job.
Right now, they don't do shit. The politicians do nothing.
Yeah, more you
don't do nothing.
No, you. No, go ahead, man. I hope they impeach him, and I hope that's all they do is impeach. That's all they do. You need to just drag two. For what? What are we going to chase in the economy right now? What bill are they going to sign that's going to make the economy go better? No, seriously. Do you think you'll get anything passed out of the House of Representatives now? Because it's got to pass both houses now.
No.
Do you think?
That's my exact point about get your ass in there and do your job.
So 2 years, there's nothing they're going to do to energize this. Biden's not going to move on energy, and we all know that's a fucking idiot move. Look at the countries.
So you don't think he's going to do what he said he was going to do?
What is that, Jim?
Like closing down all the coal plants and trying to phase out his fossil fuels.
A lot of
you don't think he's
and a lot of it I think is bullshit. No, I think it's bullshit.
I mean, that's what people voted for, though.
Yeah, listen, I get what Donnie says when he said, I do. I get what Donnie says. You know, Donnie fucking like firmly believes that, you know, the way it was designed is the way it should fucking happen. You know what I mean? It's like, look, man, the people put you in your seat. You know what I mean? We don't want to hear about backdoor fucking deals or anything like that. We want you to do exactly what we voted you in there for, is to represent us. You know what I mean? And you know, we got to figure this shit out. You know what I mean? And nowadays, it's everybody like impeach this one, impeach that one.
Why not? What are we going to change in Congress in 2 years?
Are you looking to? Are you talking about impeaching Biden?
No.
I missed the whole.
I'm talking about a senator.
I'm sitting here listening to what you guys are saying. I'm like, what?
I'm not talking about a senator.
All right,
I'm
sit
talking
back.
a secretary. The Secretary of Homeland and Security.
No. I know who he is. No, I know what you're talking about.
And the next one they need to go after is the Department of Energy girl. She was Jennifer's her first name, Chisholm. Yes, they do. They got it, because the only thing that's going to get this out of here, because nothing's going to get produced in Congress. So what we have now is what we're going to use for 2 years.
Hey guys, with that being said, I hate to be a piece of shit, guys, but we got to take another break, man. Ladies and gentlemen, stick around for more of the Rabbit Hole. We'll be right back in exactly 3 minutes. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Excuse me. It's Tuesday night, and welcome back to the Rabbit Hole. I apologize for that. Excuse me again. I'm telling you, I think the only guy that's got a fucking stopwatch on him is D, because
Why is
he's
that,
always
man?
back in his seat right on time.
No, it's about discipline, you know.
Exactly. Discipline. Jim, get your fucking shit together.
Hey, listen, I got dogs, bro.
Never mind. Donnie, leave that kid alone.
Donnie's there. He's hidden in this stuff. Hey, but
Yeah.
no,
So
get
anyway, yeah.
All right, okay, ladies and gentlemen. All right, listen, thanks for sticking around for the rabbit hole. And D, go ahead, continue, bro, because you was lit up, bro. That light. You know what I mean? I don't know.
yeah.
That light's been gone for a long time, bro. But go ahead.
No, where's Donnie? You there, bro?
He's here.
No, it's just this. You
He's getting the
know,
rest of the bags of can out of his carriage. Go ahead, go.
I mean, but no, listen to it. Is there? Stupid.
You caught that the last fucking
mhm,
second,
yeah.
bro. Come on.
No,
All right,
man.
go ahead.
No, it's just the way that the Republicans need to do it smart. No, Republicans, not mega Republicans. Republicans need to get smart, man. Just smart with this majority, man. But with that, man, that means nothing gets passed now. If it looks like shit to Republicans, it will not go up.
Right.
It's
A
just,
lot of that's
and,
going to happen. A lot of that's going to happen.
and
you're right. And you're right. And you're
it doesn't,
right.
Here's what's going to, okay, it could be the best idea in the world. If it came from anybody else but like a Republican, they're not going to vote on it.
Right.
And this was, again, I think we were going to touch on some of this what if stuff,
Right. That's good.
What if they did take what if they did have control of both houses? If that happened and things didn't turn out to be butterflies and rainbows in 2 years, then we'd end up getting smoked on the presidency because, again, they have control. So is it a good thing? I don't know. It could be. It could be a blessing. It could be that we continue on the path that we're on and in the path that 85% of the country doesn't even like. And then after the next 2 years, we're really, really in just a terrible, absolute shit situation that I really don't want to be in. And I hope we aren't anyway, at least not for the sake of trying to win an election. But at that point, maybe people will be able to just go, you know what? we got to change this and we have to move in the other direction because it's not sustainable. And that's what I think my biggest worry is about any of this, and my thought process behind it all is that it's the sustainability of it, and it's not only that, not that it can't be, because it can't. You can't just keep giving money away. You can't just keep spending more than you make and expect it to not come crashing down at some point. And that's what we're doing. We're not closing the gap. We're making it wider every single minute, second of every single day. So it's not sustainable, and we need to change it. I don't know. I had a point that I was trying to make, and I lost it a little bit.
No, that happens. That happens.
Yeah. That's my worry. Is it's going to be too late? You know what I mean? Are we on that spot, that the point of no return almost? Where is that in the line of where we are? Is it one more election cycle that this economy just can't do it anymore? Where, again, we're looking at, an insolvent, I mean, we've been knowing this day was coming for a while anyway, like Social Security situation, Medicare, all the money, the billions and trillions of dollars we're just throwing away and burning through constantly. At what point is it a point of no return where it's just like there is no physical possibility, mathematical possibility for us to possibly pay this money back in a lifetime? I mean, it's going to get to that. I mean, how many, when you take the deficit right now and divide it over the country, I don't know what the number is. I forget what it was, but it was something like a couple of $100,000 or so. I think I could be wrong too. I'm probably wrong. But it's a decent amount of money that every person in America already, if we paid it, like we already can't pay it. Like we're already at a point that it's unsustainable. What are we doing?
Yeah, Donnie made that. He came up he did the numbers on that, exactly what you were talking about, of the amount of people we have in the United States, and he just times it by one, and and you're right, it's not going to happen during our lifetime.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is we're in such a position. This is where I was going with election cycles. At what point do we go? Yeah, it's got to stop, and we change the direction that we're going in a country, in this country, because it isn't. It's not sustainable. So how long does it take? You know what I mean? Once it's like, yep, we can't do it. It's impossible. So we're just going to throw it in high gear. Like, it doesn't even seem like there's any plan to try to slow this down.
I got a question. I got a question for you, Donnie.
Mm-hmm.
So within these last 2 years, what do you think Congress is going to generate?
Probably nothing, like you said, because they'll bicker and fight and say about, oh, I want this, I want that. They're gonna, try to say, they start their stupid talk about get rid of this, that, whatever. They're gonna do absolutely nothing, and that's gonna suck, because that's what's really gonna kick our ass, is when our political leaders in the House who have a dead, what do you call it, lame duck sessions. When they have lame duck sessions for 2 years, that kills us. We're at a breaking point, like you say, Jim. We can't even pay our debt back. It would take us 100 years to pay that back if we were to start, doing some crazy numbers to pay it back. It would take at least 100 years. That's, we're not going to see that.
Yeah, I mean, either side of that, then, I mean, there's no way we're going to pay it back. I mean,
no, we're never going to pay it back, and that's where
But at this
I think
point,
the next big crash leads us into dependence.
Yeah,
because look at.
I don't really, I don't doubt that. I think we're at a breaking point now. That's, I don't know. We need to make a decision and as a country and be like, dude, we need to change the trajectory here, because we're going in the wrong way. We're going in the wrong direction, and I don't even know what that looks like. I mean, how do you even stop? How do you stop it at this point? It seems like it's so far out of control. This is a thing. I don't have it. You can look it up on your phone, or computer, whatever. It's a website, and I forget the name of it. I think it's worlddebtclock.com. And it shows it's insane. Like
the first thing,
the money that just was. What's that?
It starts with policy, fiscal policy. You have to change that. It can't be so loose. Just like, a couple months ago, we was talking about the PACT Act and the act they did where, what's his face, the comedian guy, he got all uptight because they didn't pass it. It was for veterans with the burn pit. He got so uptight. Yeah, there was a PACT Act or something like that it was called. I can't remember exactly. So he got all upset because they didn't pass it, right? But there was 2 Republicans in there fighting about, no, I'm not voting for it because you got all this discretionary funding. And that's the stuff that's gotten us in the point we're at now. The discretionary funding, that's loose policy, right? Loose fiscal policy. Discretionary money, used as you kind of see fit, you need to. Yeah, that all got funneled to people's pockets. That's where the corruption and the bribery come in. Yeah. So
that's what really needs to happen, man. I mean, there's got to be a better, they got to keep business out of politics, and they got to just I don't know how you even do that now, though. Everything's so just intertwined, but it's corporations running things. It's, there's my hands in your pocket and your hands in my pocket. And yeah, look at that. You just let it roll. Right. So there's probably on there, I think there's something per citizen. It tells you what your, I don't know, you'd have to look at it. But yeah, we're at what? 31,282,387,000,000, and just that one just keeps rolling. That's insane. There's no way we're going to pay that back, No,
and they don't plan to pay it back. And then this is another thing that they got to debate, raising the debt ceiling when they come back after their breaks or whatever. Yeah. After this election cycle, they got to come back and they got to debate doing that. So there's more cuts to something. And that's why I say maybe a start to fixing some of this is privatization of a lot of government agencies.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I want to look at this again. I know it existed, this world debt clock. It's really cool for anybody.
It says full full-time workers. Full-time workers are persons who usually work 35 hours or more per week. And that's like it's down here where the little hand is, and it's 132 billion 196 million and change. Part-time workers 26, and so on.
No, it's a pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little website. I like I said, I haven't looked at it
Yeah,
in a long time, but it's pretty neat to just pull some info from. But yeah, that's we just keep spending. We don't have a plan to stop it. But I think the bigger problem is, where do you cut? I'd love to actually see what budget is. And when they're always talking, oh, we're going to go line by line, you never do that. Nobody's doing that. There's so many things we just spend money on that just I don't know. Is it beneficial at this point? Who knows?
I don't know, but I want to hear Donnie's view on it.
No, there's a lot of things that we can stop spending money on, and we should stop spending money on foreign aid and all this stuff. You know what? Instead of giving you $500 million to make these crops or raise these crops or build this, you know what? As America, we're going to come in and just build it for you. Then at least I know my money went to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
think about it. I'm going to employ U.S. people to come abroad and build this so I can get revenue for my people. They can go back home and spend money on my land. Maybe that's the way you can fix it. Because we give so much money away. Look at the aid we're giving to these to Ukraine and all that right now. Where's that money coming from? The people that are going to build the T-82, the Russian tanks, we played with Poland to say, hey, yeah, we'll rebuild them. Where's that funding coming from?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just saying, where's it coming from? Because I would much rather if you went to all these super rich people, and here's a crazy ass idea right here. Go to all these crazy ass rich people like Elon Musk and Bezos and Warren Buffett. Say, look, man, Warren, I need 25 million to build such and such building so we can extend research on cancer. Hey, you give me a loan and I'll pay it back at 2.5%. I mean, help the government out, help your people out, help the society out. We prioritize funding that way, and get these rich philanthropists that say they want to give money back. Well, there you go. There's an idea. How about you fund a bunch of infrastructure? Go fund them projects, take a slight return for your money, and we're spending all that money right here in our borders.
Yeah, sounds like a great idea.
Right? It's like, the common folk, you know what I mean?
But I mean,
the common folk make
let me ask you this,
you know?
though. Do you think there would be a rabbit hole show on Elon Musk's cancer center? Like after the government funnels him money? You know what I mean? That's like people. That's probably why it's not done that way. You know what I mean? People would be all over that because now it's the government's going to give him this. He's going to get these kickbacks, and people would shit all over that. Not that I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, that's great. I mean,
yeah, but that's why
they got so much money they could fund half of the things that they need to get funded, and they would make money on it. But I don't know. I don't know why it's never been brought up or.
Once again, policy change. Yes, there's people in contracting that need to go over that, and you have to be vested, and there's certain things you can and cannot do. But damn, I mean, think about it. If you just did it at a local level too, just start at a local level, see the program, see if it works. Hell, we got all these other crazy ass ideas to give people money if they're transgender, or give people money if someone said something mean to them when they were in 3rd grade. Well, shit, man, they got the box like that for our economy. I mean, come on. Do something.
That's only experimental.
Okay, whatever. Do something, though. I mean, we're paying people because they're sensitive. Enough of that shit.
No, he's starting to generate a little audience, Mr. Trump. He's got his little gay red hats. A lot of white folks in the audience. That's right. I said it.
Of course.
Jesus.
And this is why Trump loves this. Because this fits him as that evil, just no good for nothing. And the Democrats just want to be the great white horse and the chariot coming in, saving the day. And they can play with Trump because Trump plays right into their hands. Plays right into their hands because he spits fire right back at them.
Yep. And they're
And then we're
all.
gonna wonder why we're having another 4 years of Biden.
Yep.
Dude, I can't. Dude.
Yeah.
Well, what I say on a show, probably about, I don't know, fucking 10 shows in a row or something, is that they should have just let Trump fucking run out his 8 years, man. And now you never have to hear from him again.
No.
You know?
You'd
But
still
no.
hear from him.
But no, they wasted fucking 4 years of just impeach this, impeach that. Not, you know, all of a sudden, I never seen so many presidents do executive orders, man. You know,
No,
and
they always had tons of them. That's not.
like I
you
said,
can-
before fucking Obama, I never really seen presidents like, fucking signing this. And,
because they didn't make
you know?
big deals out of it. You know what I mean? They definitely had. You can look that up.
Not saying
No,
that
I'm not
they didn't,
saying
bro.
that. Yeah.
You
No,
know,
they
I'm
did.
saying I
They-
don't think it was as bad, bro. You know?
No, it's that the media capitalizes on it now because they have to
Yeah,
fill a
it looks
24-hour.
Okay,
window
I
period,
agree
you
with
know?
you, D, 100%. That's right, right. The media is talking about it now, so thus now I know about it. Before
Well,
it wasn't
I
really a
think
big deal,
the-
but it was happening.
I think what you're saying too, Blaze, is it was a difference. Like executive orders were supposed to be used for certain things, not making legislation
Right.
or
Thank
passing
you.
bills. So it was a different. What's the word I'm looking for?
Ass.
Yeah.
There was different guidelines of how they were to be used.
Balls.
Yeah, that works. Yeah,
Right.
There were different different rankings of executive orders. They didn't pass healthcare bills with them before. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's a
And
different
that's
story.
where Biden
On
has
that
been
clock,
the most.
on that clock, fucking Medicaid and healthcare and Medicaid was fucking like, and then it went to Social Security, then it went to the defense budget and shit like that. But right now, you know, Medicaid and Medicare are the biggest fucking draws. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, people are living a lot longer than they used to. Man.
I mean, if that thing's accurate, I don't want to go to a commercial and fucking Mr. D comes back and says, "Oh, the FFN media source was wrong."
It
You know what I
was
mean?
because
No.
you busted me out. You busted me out. What do you want me
Alright.
to do? Stay here, with my tail between my legs and say
That had
nothing?
nothing to
Come
do
on,
with about
Clarence.
the tail, and nothing to do
Come
about
on,
the
Clarence.
tail.
You
Demo.
put up you put some bullshit
Come
up
on,
there.
Demo.
I could have done better than that.
Yeah, watch the fucking same TikTok video. They probably use it on fucking
probably
Fox News.
that was probably from 7 years ago or whatever.
I don't have
No, I had the date
TikTok
on it.
account.
Yeah,
had the
yeah,
date
you
on
can't. You can't edit a video. You're right, Blaze.
They're all lined up.
Didn't
Yeah,
you
they
know
are.
what? Forget about it. All right. Okay, just
You
fucking
can't-
move
You know,
along.
he probably.
D. I don't think it was right at all of what you said about Donnie. Donnie, go.
I didn't say
What are you
nothing.
talking about? You say nothing
Yeah,
about
bro.
me. You trying
Go
to
ahead,
instigate
Donnie.
some bullshit. What are you trying to instigate some
Just
bullshit
keep
right
going, Donnie.
now? Keep going on what? How
The
effed up our
deficit.
economy is, the deficit? Yeah, because we got to change it, but you got to change it at a local area too. And then you got a lot of people that, we're going to point fingers at each
All
other.
right, guys, we got some breaking fucking news here. Hold on.
Yeah, sing that shit from Trump. Let's go.
Yep. Look at this.
Is he on? Are you putting it up, or are you just gonna secondhand tell me what's going on?
Sell the de facto candidate in Pennsylvania. And Joe Biden said she'd make a great lady
I'm
in the
dropping
Senate.
it up there real quick
Now
so you
John
can read the
Fetterman has won
headlines
his
down
race
on the bottom. It
somehow.
should be coming up
And
again.
as expected, his wife is hogging the spotlight.
Look at
She's
this.
uploaded this
Look at
photo
this.
of herself
This
at a
is
dinner
what people
party
voted for.
with Pennsylvania
Yep,
Senator
yep.
Bob Casey. You'll notice that half of John Fetterman's face is cropped out. And then today, Giselle uploaded this picture outside of John Fetterman's Senate office. This
Jesus.
time, half his body was cropped out. In fairness, at least he's wearing a suit and not a hoodie and basketball shorts. But still, Giselle takes center stage, which, of course, was the plan here all along. Tonight, I want to ask you to please check out the brand new episode of the Will Cain podcast. It's out right now. In it, you can go download at Fox.
We'll get to that in a minute. On the bottom ticker, it said Donald Trump filed for the papers to run for re-election. Thought he was going to talk about it, but we'll get back to it. We said we give ourselves. What do you figure, guys? It's 9. It's 9 now. We run maybe about 5 minutes. Nothing happens in 5 minutes. Then we'll just talk about it next week.
Yep. Well,
Sounds good to me.
While we're waiting, I'd like to reach out to any viewers or viewers' families that served in the military. Happy belated Veterans Days.
Absolutely. Happy,
long as Yeah, as long as you got Donnie and myself on this show, veterans will always have a voice.
Always
That
got
sounded
that.
good. That sounded good, Clarence.
You know what I mean? We got that. Demo, I'm running it right
you,
now,
sir.
Demo.
There you are.
That's why I had it. I had
Yeah,
the
this
ticker
is
on
something I
Veterans
like to
Day.
talk about.
Go ahead.
Hey, he's coming out. He's coming out right now.
All right, man. Here we go.
Year,
Breaking news, Jim. Shut your pie hole.
The next Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, she will be handing over the gavel in January, and for the next 2 years, the Biden administration will finally be held in check. Now, we're also tracking a scary situation in Europe tonight, where NATO ally Poland was hit by what is believed to be Russian-made missiles, killing 2 people. Now, tonight, the free world needs to be preparing for an appropriate military response. The question is your President Joe Biden up to the job, or is NATO real or just a paper tiger? But first, as you can see on your screen, all eyes are in Mar-a-Lago tonight in Palm Beach, where the 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, is expected to make a huge announcement. Earlier tonight, he filed paperwork to officially run for president in 2024. We will take you there live.
So do you think
as
somebody
it happens.
tries to assassinate
Joining us
him
now
now?
with the preview, Fox and Friends weekend co-host. He's also hosting the Patriot Awards this week.
You don't think somebody tries to assassinate him this time?
Thank you, Pete.
I mean, a guy ran into the Speaker of the House's fucking house and beat her fucking old man with a hammer.
You can see the First Lady and
people are more crazy now.
Take on tonight's announcement. Big night for Republicans. They
You know what I mean?
win the House. Your initial thought?
Hey, ain't there a money drop during this, and they'll say how much money he came up tonight with?
dude, I can't.
No,
even.
because that's all big donors in that room, and I wonder. I don't know, man.
Say what's on your mind, bro.
No, I'm just.
There'll be some money that comes out of it later. There'll be numbers that come out, but they won't be the truth. Oh, I don't know why you want to believe them.
You know what pisses me off right now? If DeSantis was smart, even if he wanted to run, he wouldn't. Because he's going to lose so many votes to him.
Oh, he's coming on. Trump's right there. He's walking to the podium, walking around.
This is a huge speech for him.
He's checking his
for the future. Talk about why his leadership is needed in America more today. Provide the contrast with the disaster of Joe Biden. He's got the biggest of stages and an opportunity to announce yet again. And the Republican Party, which he remade, is one he wants to lead again.
I want to hear his voice.
We're going to get a chance to hear him make that case.
And
he's certainly laying down a marker, and that he is in, and whether other people I guess it's anybody's guess.
Gee, take it easy, bro. You ain't got any fucking sharp objects around you in the room with you, do you?
No. We got a viewer just left a message.
God bless Trump. Crispy Farco.
Nobody really seems to understand when you look at
Crispy Farco says, God bless Trump.
Like
should I block that account, D?
No.
And if the economy stinks,
no.
The world is on fire. Who knows what'll happen? It's Donald Trump. That's right.
Donald, I know this is a fucking stupid question, but you don't got any sharp tools or rope around, do you?
I only want to use it on safe.
Well, thank you very much. And on behalf of Melania, myself, and our entire family, I want to thank you all for being here tonight. It's a very special occasion at a very special place. You and all of those watching are the heart and soul of this incredible movement and the greatest country in the history of the world. It's very simple. There has never been anything like it. This great movement of ours, never been anything like it, and perhaps there will never be anything like it again. There's never been anything to compete with what we have all done. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and my fellow citizens,
Does a revolution ring a bell?
Starts right now. Two years ago, when I left office, the United States stood ready for its golden age. Our nation was at the pinnacle of power, prosperity, and prestige, towering above all rivals, vanquishing all enemies, and striding into the future, confident and so strong. In 4 short years, everybody was doing great. Men, women, African Americans, Asian Americans, Hispanic Americans, everybody was thriving like never before. There was never a time like this. We turned the page on decades of globalist sellouts and one-sided trade deals, lifted millions out of poverty, and together we built the greatest economy in the history of the world. When the virus hit our shores, I took decisive action and saved lives and the U.S. economy. And by October of the same year, America was roaring back with the #1 fastest economic recovery ever recorded. How about that? All of the incoming administration and all they had to do was just sit back and watch. Inflation was non-existent. Our southern border was by far the strongest ever. And because the border was so tight, drugs were coming into our country at the lowest level in many, many years. Importantly, after decades of rising energy costs, the United States had finally attained the impossible dream of American energy independence, which soon would have turned into energy dominance. For the first time in memory, China was reeling and back on its heels. You've never seen that before, because the United States was outdoing them on every single front, and China was paying billions and billions of dollars in taxes and tariffs. The farmers know that because they got 28 billion of it. No president had ever sought or received $1 for our country from China until I came along, and we were getting hundreds of billions of dollars. Many people think that because of this, China played a very active role in the 2020 election. Just saying, just saying. Sure, that didn't happen. Instead of jobs and factories leaving America for China, they were, for the first time ever, leaving China for America. Businesses were pouring back because of our historic tax and regulation cuts, the biggest in both categories in history, bigger even than what Ronald Reagan was able to produce, and he produced a lot. China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea were in check and respected. They respected the United States, and quite honestly, they respected me. I knew them well. I knew them well. The vicious ISIS caliphate, which no president was able to conquer, was decimated by me and our great warriors in less than 3 weeks, and al-Baghdadi, its founder, was hunted down and killed. North Korea had not launched a single long-range missile since my summit with Chairman Kim Jong-un nearly 3 years before. We developed a relationship, and that's a good thing, not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Very good thing, actually, because look at what's happening today. My opponents made me out to be a warmonger, and just a terrible person who would immediately go into war. They said during the 2016 campaign that if he becomes president, there will never be a war within weeks, and we will have wars like you've never seen before. It will happen immediately, and yet I've gone decades without a war, the first president to do it for that long a period. The world was at peace, America was prospering, and our country was on track for an amazing future because I made big promises to the American people, and unlike other presidents, I kept my promises. I kept them. Thank you very much. Under our leadership, we were a great and glorious nation, something you haven't heard for quite a long period of time. We were a strong nation, and importantly, we were a free nation. But now we are a nation in decline. We are a failing nation. For millions of Americans, the past 2 years under Joe Biden have been a time of pain, hardship, anxiety, and despair. As we speak, inflation is the highest in over 50 years. Gas prices have reached the highest levels in history and expect them to go much higher now that the strategic national reserves, which I filled up, have been virtually drained in order to keep gasoline prices lower just prior to the election. Joe Biden has intentionally surrendered our energy independence. There is no longer even a thought of dominance, and we are now begging for energy help from foreign nations, many of whom find us detestable. Our southern border has been erased, and our country is being invaded by millions and millions of unknown people, many of whom are entering for a very bad and sinister reason. And you know what that reason is. We will be paying a big price for this invasion into our country for years to come. Hundreds of thousands of pounds of deadly drugs, including very lethal fentanyl, are flooding across the now open and totally porous southern border. The blood-soaked streets of our once great cities are cesspools of violent crimes, which are being watched all over the world as leadership of other countries explain that this is what America and democracy is really all about. How sad. The United States has been embarrassed, humiliated, and weakened for all to see. The disasters in Afghanistan, perhaps the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, where we lost lives, left Americans behind, and surrendered $85 billion worth of the finest military equipment anywhere in the world. And Ukraine, which would have never happened if I were your president, are something and even the Democrats admit that. That's something I've seen them admit over and over again. But our enemies are speaking of us with scorn and laughter and derision because of those two events. But there are many more. Even just today, a missile was sent in, probably by Russia, to Poland, 50 miles into Poland, and people are going absolutely wild and crazy, and they're not happy. They're very, very angry. Now we have a president who falls asleep at global conferences, was held in contempt by the British Parliament over Afghanistan. And thanks to the words of wisdom, he said thank you to the wrong country for inviting him to a major summit on the environment, of all things. They fly for days to get there, and then he calls the country, a name that was actually a country on another continent. And he's leading us to the brink of nuclear war, a concept unimaginable just 2 short years ago. You cannot mention the nuclear word. It's too devastating. The Green New Deal and the environment, which they say may affect us in 300 years, is all that is talked about, and yet nuclear weapons, which would destroy the world immediately, are never even discussed as a major threat. Can you imagine? They say the ocean will rise 1/8 of an inch over the next 200 to 300 years. But don't worry about nuclear weapons that can take out entire countries with one shot. Something is wrong with their thinking. Under Biden and the radical Democrats, America has been mocked, derided, and brought to its knees, perhaps like never before. But we are here tonight to declare that it does not have to be this way. It does not have to be this way. Two years ago, we were a great nation, and soon we will be a great nation again. The decline of America is being forced upon us by Biden and the radical left lunatics running our government right into the ground. This decline is not a fate we must accept. When given the choice, boldly, clearly, and directly, I believe the American people will overwhelmingly reject the left's platform of national ruin, and they will embrace our platform of national greatness and glory to America. Glory. Exactly 1 week ago, our citizens voted in the important midterm elections, and despite a ridiculously long and unnecessary period of waiting, far longer, in fact, than any third world country, just a short time ago, the Republicans won back control of the House of Representatives. And it was with a great Trump-endorsed candidate, Congressman-elect Kevin Kiley, who is a fantastic person, And I'm very happy it was his vote that did it. But we now won back. This happened just an hour ago. Much criticism is being placed on the fact that the Republican Party should have done better, and frankly, much of this blame is correct. But the citizens of our country have not yet realized the full extent and gravity of the pain our nation is going through, and the total effect of the suffering is just starting to take hold. They don't quite feel it yet, but they will very soon. I have no doubt that by 2024, it will sadly be much worse, and they will see much more clearly what happened and what is happening to our country, and the voting will be much different. 2024. Are you getting ready? And I am too. I am too. I do want to point out that in the midterms, my endorsement success rate was 232 wins and only 22 losses. You don't hear that from the media. And this is an elegant night and an elegant place, and I'm not going to use the term fake news media. So we're going to keep it very elegant. But you don't hear that from the media. But I think you will, because people are starting to see what happened. That's some score. And in the primaries was 98.6%. But they were still trying to blame me. And the reason for the success and that unprecedented success rate is that the Trump administration changed our nation on trade, on securing the border. We're the strongest, safest border ever in the history of our country, on Islamic terrorism. We had practically, just about, not that I can think of, no Islamic attacks, terrorist attacks during the Trump administration. And in fact, we got along very well with the various countries, including coming up with the Abraham Accords. That's a great thing, the Abraham Accords. But it's because of cutting taxes and cutting regulations at the highest level ever, and on building the greatest economy. Any time in the history of the world, there's never been an economy like we had just 2 years ago. Despite the outcome in the Senate, we cannot lose hope. And we must all work very hard for a gentleman and a great person named Herschel Walker, a fabulous human being who loves our country and will be a great United States Senator. Herschel Walker, get out and vote for Herschel, and he deserves it. He was an incredible athlete. He'll be an even better senator. Get out and vote for Herschel Walker. We elected a group of incredibly talented America First leaders who will be stars of our party for many years to come. In the popular vote, another thing that's not discussed for the House, we must remember that Republicans won 5 million more votes, the largest margin in many, many years, over the Democrats. 5 million more votes. That's a big thing. Breaking the radical Democrats' grip on Congress. Well, it's 2 words, American dream. That was not good what he did. There are a lot of bad things, like going to Idaho and saying, welcome to the state of Florida. I really love it. In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. All of you. Thank you. Thank you. So many incredible friends and family here tonight. It's such a beautiful thing. Some people say, how do you speak before so many people all the time? When there's love in the room, it's really easy, if you want to know the truth. It really is. You ought to try it sometime. Together, we will be taking on the most corrupt forces and entrenched interests imaginable. Our country is in a horrible state. We're in grave trouble. This is not a task for a politician or a conventional candidate. This is a task for a great movement that embodies the courage, confidence, and the spirit of the American people. This is a movement. This is not for any one individual. This is a job for tens of millions of proud people working together from all across the land and from all walks of life, young and old, black and white, Hispanic and Asian, many of whom we have brought together for the very, very first time. If you look at the numbers, if you look at what's happened with Hispanic, with African American, with Asian, and just look at what's happening. This is a party that has become much bigger, much stronger, much more powerful, can do much more good for our country. This is a job for grandmothers and construction workers, firefighters, builders, teachers, doctors.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we had a system malfunction which knocked everybody out but me. So I guess the internet problem and Mr. Donald and Mr. D. Well, no, they don't even live in the same state. What am I talking about? Anyways, yeah, but it was still me and you guys. With that being said, look, go check it out on your local television station or whatever and stuff like that. I really appreciate everybody who tuned into the rabbit hole tonight. I just love this shit. You know what I mean? Especially live. I mean, I don't want it to happen. I don't want the crashes to happen and all that stuff like that, but it happens, you know? And lately a little bit more than I would like, but that's the deal with all of that. So I want everybody to have a great night. Enjoy the rest of the week with your family. I speak for the boys when I say be kind to people. If you got it, give it, all that fun stuff like that. And and here we go. Here's one. Here's my boy. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's Mr. Donald. He made it back. So everybody, here we go, Donald. You know what I mean? He announced it.
Yeah, I know.
Go ahead. I'll give you a couple of minutes. See what's on your mind.
Cut the video. Okay, there you go. No echo. I think that's just the worst thing that could have happened right now. I really don't think he's going to do anything worth a damn but divide this country even more. And he just helped out Joe Biden in so many ways, because there's going to be so many people. Because if you remember 2-3 years ago, people were talking about, I don't care. I don't care about how bad Biden is. He's better than Trump. And there were people that voted that way. And
well, they were like the theme was like the lesser of two evils type of shit, you know?
Right. So you bring that same approach back. What do you think is going to happen? Probably the same.
Donnie, I think that both Democrats and Republicans, and I'm sorry, more Democrats like divided this country than a president, man. You know what I mean?
I know they did. I'm not going to deny that. I think they were part of the problem. It's not just Trump. I'm not. Let me get that cleared out then. It's not just Trump that's dividing this country. It's both of them. They both have their same part in dealing with it. The Democrats, because they want to yell about how evil he is. Him, because he spews the same BS right back at the Democrats and how evil they are. But then all of a sudden they can, we're not evil. No. Yeah, you are. You're part of the problem. And that's why I was getting on Demas, and I was getting into an argument with Demas about it earlier. I don't care about the Border Patrol.
No arguments on a rabbit hole. A disagreement.
Okay. Disagreement. That's why I disagreed with Demas earlier, because who cares? I know it sounds like shit or whatever, but I don't care about the Border Patrol agent. I don't care about him getting his promotion. What I care about is that newly assigned senator or House Republican, go do your job, change policy so that we can figure out how to keep immigration under control, how we can get the MS-13 gang members out of the country or not even to come in the country, because there's a database where they can get scanned and looked at. We have a better way of controlling them, so we can actually track them and say, hey, you got to come to court. Not here's where you're going to come to court in Florida, but we're going to ship you out to Wisconsin or some crazy stupid like that. Yeah, that's the shit I want you to fix. You know what I'm saying? That's how you make a actual attempt at a solution. Throwing money at it and handing out, stimulus checks and cell phones and everything else.
Right.
Goodie bags. That's not doing nothing.
Right. And Crispy Falco just said, Trump just said the Republicans messed up shit too. So, what else there? We got another comment here. And Trump tried that, and they all said it was racist against Mexicans. Right. I believe he's talking about the MS-13 when Trump was saying, they're letting murderers and rapists and shit over, and everybody else jumped on the wagon and said, oh, Trump's a freaking racist. He doesn't like Mexicans and all that shit like that. And that's not what he was saying. Let's be fair there.
No, but let's be honest about it. A lot of Trump policies Biden kept during his 2 years as president.
See, now I didn't know that, and I don't understand. Yeah, I did not know that, and I don't understand why the hell I didn't research something like that. That's a bunch of shit,
Yeah,
That's what Trump, if he's smart, that's what they'll run off. That's part of what they'll run off. Look, Democrats said I'm so evil that they kept my policies for 2 years or 4 years while Joe was president, but he kept my policies in place. My fiscal policies, my immigration policies, all this stuff that they've kept in place. And if they only do it for 3 years or 2 years, whatever, but he can boast on that. And if I'm a voter and I'm a swing voter thinking, which way do I want to go this time? And Donald Trump is out there telling me this instead of calling people names and yapping. He's actually telling me something fruitful that gets me informed. I might vote for him this time, because if you're telling me your policies were in effect, there's somebody else at the reins guiding the horse. Well, shit, come on in. At least I can have the guy who made the policies run the horse.
Okay, right.
I get more out of it.
Can't be no clearer than that. And I love the way you explained it. With that being said, Donnie, I appreciate you coming back, bro, and getting this filled out. I apologize for the dropout, everybody, but again, live show. But listen, don't forget to check out the Rabbit Hole next Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. Trust us, ladies and gentlemen. Trust us. There's going to be a lot that we have got to say. You know what I mean? Tomorrow, don't forget to check out the Blaze Man and Miss Tammy show from 7 to 8 p.m. The Neutral Corner with Jerry Souza from 7 to 8 p.m. on Thursday, and the Side Draft from 7 to 8 p.m. on Friday nights. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks a lot for tuning into the Rabbit Hole. Donnie, you're a beast, brother, all the time. And I'll just say good night to everybody. God bless. Donnie, final thought.
Hey, just like always, think positive, do positive everywhere you can, man. Until next week, pop the smoke.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, see you next Tuesday, Rabbit Hole.